Hi, good evening, Nana here, and then I'm going to make a demonstration on units of measures, which is really a complex topic. And then this has been dedicated to my students as well as well-wishers now. So in this session, you can understand about how to configure the units of measures, the dual units of measures, and other complexities of the units of measures. So welcome to this recording, and then I'm Nana, and then I can be contacted at apps.nana@gmail.com, and then you can even contact me over mobile on 98418-67924. And then I conduct training on EBIS essentials as well as Fusion procurement. For any requirements, you can contact me. Fine. So thanks for passing on this information to your friends and others who are interested in having what's called a training program on EBIS. So let me first of all switch off my video now, and then afterwards we will now have the session on this now. Fine. Thank you. So let me now share my screen now. Fine. Go there, click on share my screen, and then I'm going to start the session now. So we are now going to see units of measures. So you will have first of all a class created. So let us go on and create a class. As and when I do it, I will be explaining what I'm doing now. So I'm going to do it in what's called EBIS essentials in the EBIS suite. And then it is almost same. Fine, everything is same in Fusion also. In the Fusion, I will now show you the navigations only. So from there, what happens, you can make it right. So let us go there, and then let us create my class called data-weight and go there. And then here you go to setups, and then go to units of measures, and then go to class. This is the navigation now. Set up units of measures class is the navigation. Double click on it. Let me create a new class. A class is nothing but a collection of relevant units of measures. Let me go to M1 organization, Seattle manufacturing. So I will now go and create my one. Control down arrows for the creation of a new record, and then I will now say it's a data class, data weight. So what's called there is a character restriction, so T is not coming up now. Fine, take a copy of it. And then here in the description, I can put this one. Fine, go there. I will put the rate. And then every class will be having a base unit of measures. I will now say data grams, data underscore grams. And then it will be having a 3-letter alphanumeric code. So T, and then what happens is GM. I'm putting it. So TGM is a units of measures. I'm making it fine. I'm now creating a class, and then I'm saving it. So the class is now created with one of the units of measures, the base units of measures with the 3-letter code. And you can see at the bottom, the transaction is complete. Now we go for this bottom as units of measures. Click on the units of measures. Let us now define the other units of measures of this class. Okay, the company is now, let us say, they will now putting it as a sachet. And then what happens? I will now say TSC, Tata sachet, Tata SCA, TSA, and then go there. And then they are also packing it in what happens packet. Fine, TPC, T packet, TPA. Fine, commit, commit. So we have now created all the units of measures of the data weight class. The weight class is nothing but a collection of units of measures, out of which this is the base unit now. And then it's got a TGM as one of the units of measures. So create that, and then come over here now, and then afterwards. So we have created, and then what happens? This is the base unit now. Fine, the grams is the base unit. The base unit is grams. And then I'm going to create two items, which will be having a primary units of measures. The primary units of measures is nothing but a stop keeping units of measures now. So let me create the folder now. So let us go there and then get item. So you take a copy of it and then go there, and then what happens? You close everything. So having created the units of measures in the data weight class, I go there and then I create the items. Go there, click on items, master items. So the M1's master V1 will now open up now, and then in which what happens? I will now create the item. So Tata powder 1 is the first item, and then Tata powder 2 will be the second item. So we'll be getting both items. The first powder is a less dense powder, and so what happens? You will not be having much of a density, and so what happens? You can even pack more into a packet basically, and go there and then paste it over here now. So Tata powder 1, this powder 1 here. I will now say it's a less dense powder. I will now go there, go to tools. And then go to copy from, by which what happens? I will now apply a template. The template will now apply all the necessary what's called attributes of all the 16 tab digits. If I click on it, so the purchased template is a standard template. I applied it, and then here on the units of measures, I will now go and then do what? This is what I will do. I will now make the sachet as the primary units of measures. The system will be reporting on the primary units of measures, but it will not report on the base basically. And many cases, what happens? The base and primary will be the same units of measures. So in this case, what happens for examination, for example, for training purposes, I am now making a different units of measures, which is other than the base units of measures as this thing now. So you go there. After having applied the template, I go there. I will now put Tata and then give a tab. It will be showing you all these things. So the primary units is now coming. Fine. So it will be coming. So Tata And then the other units of measures are not coming mainly because what happens, they are not related to the base at all. So one mistake we have done now. So because of which what happens is not related. So only when you relate all of the things to the base, what happens, you'll be getting it. So let us go and then relate it now. Because of which what happens, the other units of measures are not coming. So I go to tools and then what happens, I go to, I will now go to window and then I go to navigator now. And then here I go to tools and then see to that close the forms is not enabled. Fine, go there and then query this now. Fine, will now query, fine, setups and then go to what the units of measures and then go to classes now and then let us query it now. So I will go to the query and then I will now put Tata percentage and then query it now. I'm querying it and then I go to the units of measures. So the other units of measures are not related to this. So otherwise it is related. You will not be able to populate an item. Now if I click on the conversions and I go there. So Tata. I will now put it, and then in a sachet I can put 10 grams, let us say, and then give a down arrow, and then here I will now put Tata and then give a tab, and then in the packet I'm going to give 20 grams. So now the relationship is established. Now we can very well populate these units of measures also on an item. Fine, I'm creating it. Fine, go there, go to the master items. If you put Tata and then give a tab, what happens? All the three will be visible for you. So let us say sachet, and this is the primary units of measures. Fine, the primary units of measures is nothing but a stock keeping units of measures. After having applied the template and then giving the relationship of other units to the base unit, fine, I'm going to give a say. Fine, it is a data sachet. It is a SKU, primary SKU, stock keeping unit now. And then the item is now getting defined to the master, and then let me assign to the org. So let me go and then assign it to the org. So go to actions, go to tools, and then go to organization assignment, by which what happens will be assigning to the child org M1 now. So having done this, we will now do for the both items now. For the both items, we can do it now. So this activity is now going on because for the first time when you're doing it, what happens? It will take a longer time. So it is now transactions complete. I go there, go to tools, and then I go to organization assignment, by which what happens, I'll be assigning it. I put a tick mark on the M1 organization and then control commit. It is now done. So go back to this attributes region. Fine, now you can see the transactions complete. Go back and then you will now control down arrow. And then what happens? I'm going to click the next item. I will now give a shift F6. Shift F6 will now copy the previous items. This thing, and then I make a change to what to, and then I will now say it's a more dense border. More dense border. There is a less dense border, and then it's more dense in nature. And then here, what happens? I will now keep it as such. Now. Fine, I can keep it as such as a sachet. So both of them are having sachet as the primary units of measures. Fine, what is? So we go on. Let's correct it. And that's it. And then we go and then assign it. Go to tools and then go to organization assignment and then put a tick mark on M1, by which what happens? The item gets assigned over here and then give a close. So both items are created and then assigned to the child orgs. Close it. And now what happens? They come over there. Now, what happens? We already given the conversion factors, because of which only we are able to realize this units of measures in the item assignment now. Now, since it is dense in nature, what happens? It has got an exception. They say that in one packet, we normally pack only 20 grams. And then what happens? If for the powder 2, we can very well pack 30 grams because it's dense. And so 30 grams can go into the packet now. So we will be having, this is called item specific exception now. This is called item specific exception, which I'm going to configure it. Fine. Click on the conversions now. So we given the conversion. So item specific conversions are intra-class conversions. Click on the intra-class conversions. Where what happens? We are going to get the item specific conversions. Here, what happens? The item is what? Powder percentage, and then give a tab. Sorry, caps lock was there. It is a POW percentage and entering. Okay, I'm not going to everything on the small only. Powder percentage and entering. What happened? We'll now see for the item name we are given now. Tata powder, sorry, it's a Tata powder. So Tata percentage and entry. So both items are coming. I'll now go for the second item. First item is not having any exceptions. Remember, the second item is having an exception now. The second item is having an exception. This is an item specific exception. So that what happens in one packet, I can very well pack 30 grams now. So they will all be defined on the intra class. So I put over there. So automatically what happens? You choose the one sachet. The moment you choose the sachet, it will be saying how much it is related. Fine, everything, the relationship with the base will be shown over here. So here, what happens if you see, every units of measures has to be related to the base now. Base unit is grams, and so what happens? It has to be related. So it automatically shows you the default one. In a packet, it is 20 grams. Let us say, I'll now put the packet now, not sachet, data packet. Data packet. So it shows you 20. I'm now overriding the other thing. So I'm now overriding the default now. Fine. The 30, I'm now making a change. Fine. Control commit. And then it's giving a warning. Caution. Die. You're making a change. Fine. Accept this warning. Doesn't matter. And remember, we have to do all the conversions before the transaction starts. Otherwise, what happens? It will be causing a severe database corruption now. So once the transaction started, you are not supposed to make any changes in the intra-class and inter-class. It has to be done before the transaction starts. So the transaction is complete. So now one packet can contain 30 grams only for powder 2 and not for powder 1 now. not for powder 1, but only for powder 2. So intra-class is item specific exception, close it, and then let's go and make a check on the transactions. Fine, go there. So we are now going to make a check on this transaction before what happens. I know I'm already working on them on see whether the periods are open or not. So the periods must be open now. Accounting close cycle and then inventory accounting period. Let us see whether the period is open or not. So February 17 is open now. It's future basically. Click on change status and then click on open. So it's not open. So February is now open. So we can very well transaction February. Fine. It must be open, then only what happens, they can perform the transaction. Fine. The navigation now. Accounting close cycle, inventory accounting periods, fine. What is, so we are in it. And now what happens, we go there and then we will now make a transaction. Go to transactions, then go to miscellaneous transaction, in which I will now perform a miscellaneous transaction. Here click on it, fine. M percentage RE and then give a tab. So miscellaneous receipt is the one, I'm going to choose it, and then what happens, source is nothing. And then account, I am going to give a junk account. Control L and then M and then enter a junk account will be coming. So financials will be giving you the exact account while you are transacting it. Click on transaction lines, we go inside now. Let us put both the items over here now. So I'm now going to put both the items over here now. So item is what? First is Tata, percentage, and then give a tab. So Tata powder 1, fine, go there. And then here what happens, I'm now going to transact in what? Sub inventory is what? Stores, I'm going to put it now. We go there. Let me receive it. Automatically what happens, the primary units of measures will automatically default over here. So the primary units, and then let us now transact on the packet now. So the primary will now default over here now. If you drop down, out of which not the base. The base is grams. Grams is not defaulting, whereas the primary is defaulting. So let us make a change to packet now. Fine, click on packet, and then let us say 10 packets. So 10 packets I'm going to make it now. So you go there and then down arrow. And then what happens? I give a shift F5 will now copy the previous field and then make a change to 2 now. And go there. Here shift F5 will now copy the previous field. Go there. And then here also shift F5 and then go there. Resolve 10 packets. So I'm now transacting 10 packets of powder 1 and powder 2, whereas powder 1 does not have any exception. Powder 2 has got an exception. Because whenever you transact on powder 2, one packet will now be getting counted to 30 grams and not 20 grams. So here what happens, this will be only 20 grams, whereas the second item will be 30 grams, fine, commit. So this transaction is getting completed. So once the transaction is completed, what happens, we can go and then see the stock, how much is there in the system now. Fine. So by which we can now understand about how the intra-class item specific exception is going to work on this now. So it's now coming. Now what happens, whenever you transact in packet, the system is going to report the stock only in sachets. Sachet is the primary unit of measures. So what it will do is, it will now first of all convert the packet into grams and then grams into sachet. So there are two conversions which will take place now, fine, because everything is related only to what? The primary unit, the base units of measures. All units of measures are related to base units of measures. So first of all, packet to sachet, there is no direct conversion at all. From packet to sachet, there is no conversion. So packet to grams and then gram to sachet. Fine, it will now convert to 30 grams and then 30 grams. Fine, in the sachet, how much you can pack? Fine, is 10 grams. So what happens? It will now show you how much is not. And close it now. It is not done. So we are now transacted 10 packets. We will now go on and have a look at it now. Fine, go there. Go to items, such. Items, such. It is now going to give you the org level quantity of this now. Fine, go there and then click on show quantity. And if you give a show, fine, it will now show you the entire quantity and then let us mask it now. Fine, you go there and then mask it. Otherwise, it will be having so many things. Go there. What happens? You put Tata percentage. I'm masking it and I'm going to give a search now. Fine, click on fine. It shows you both. Now what happens? It says it has got 20 sachets now. How? Because first time, what happens? 10 packets is equal to 20. What happens? One packet is 20 grams for first one, and then so 10 packets is 200 grams. So 200 grams into sachets is 20 sachets. Fine, that is what it is. Whereas the second one, which is having it is now an item specific exception, it will now report 30 sachets now. The honor is 30 sachets. So that is what is reporting now. Fine, what is, so you might have understood it. So it always report on the primary units of measures, and then from packets to grams, grams to sachets is the conversion. Two conversions will take place. The first one do not have any exception, so 20 grams. The second one has got an item specific exception. One packet containing 30 grams, because of which what is reporting 30 grams, 30 sachets. Good. So we will now go for the more complexities of this now. Fine. So exceptions override the standard conversions. What is, and then now what happens? I will now go to the quantity class. Now what happens? An item can be transacted in multiple your transactions basically. So if you go there, then go there. Now as of now, I cannot transact in any other class because this is the only one which is available here. If you go to transactions and go to miscellaneous transaction, and then here I go there M percentage RE and then give a tab down and enter Control L, M enter Alt R, and then go there. And then item is what? Tata percentage and then give a tab. I will now put the second item over here now. And then you can see stores is the one, and then you tab. And then here Control L will give you a list of only 3 items. Fine. So this item is now defined only in Tata weight class. So what happens? So only the weight class units of measures will be coming. Now what happens? I want to measure in quantity class also, for which what happens? We have to do one. We have to drill it in. We have to do it in quantity classes. So go to the navigator, and here what happens? You go to setups, units of measures, and then go to classes and then enter. So let us go and then query your Tata class. Fine. Tata percentage is queried now. So Tata percentage is queried. Tata weight class is coming. So here, what I'm going to do is, I will now first of all go to the quantity class. Fine, this is a quantity class. So item is in the weight class, and then here what happens, I will now go into the quantity class now. I will now go to the quantity class, and then I will now define a new units of measures called Tata tin. Go there. So let me query the quantity class now. UOM percentage, and then query it now. Fine. And then here what happens, I go to the units of measures, and then control down arrow, I will now say Tata tin. Fine. Tata tin. Fine. Go there, and then TTI. Find some units of measures. I'm going Tata. So everything must be having a what's called three units of measures. So I have defined a new units of measures. After having completed it, what happens? You have to relate to the base now. Here the base is what? The base is each. So we have related. So first you have to relate to base. Then only what happens? This new TTI will become transactable. Now if I click on conversions and I'm going to do it, control down arrow, and then I will now put Tata and then go tab, and then I will now say 10 each. Just for understanding, because don't try to imagine this now. One Tata tin can have 8-10 each now. Well, then only what happens, we can now put this on the transaction one. Find what is. So what is 110 is 10 each. This is now what happens, we have to make a conversion between this one, this and this one. Fine. If you don't make any conversion, what happens? Still it will not be visible at all. Fine. If you go to the units of measures and then go to the miscellaneous transaction now, here what happens, you go there. Control L, if you give, what happens, you won't be finding the new units of measures of Tata tin. So unless otherwise you relate these two things now. The weight class and the quantity class has to be related. Then only what happens, you'll be able to possible to put it. Fine, go there, and then here in the units of measures conversions, you go there, and then go to interclass. Interclass is nothing but peer-to-peer conversion. Here, intra-class is item-specific exception. Intra-class is item-specific exception, and then interclass is peer-to-peer conversion. Here, what happens? I'm going to add the item. Item is what? Tata percentage. Fine. Here I have to find Tata percentage too. Fine. The second item I'm going to relate it now and go there, and then here. This is represented by each in quantity class, and then it is represented by Tata grams in weight class. So we are going to, what happens, give a relationship between the each of the quantity class and then the Tata grams of the weight class. Fine. This is called peer-to-peer conversion. When India and Pakistan is going to talk, what happens? Indian foreign minister and Pakistan's foreign minister will speak. Not that the sand will not talk, coin. It will not talk. So only the foreign ministers are going to talk. So here also what happens, the representation of the quantity class is by each, which is the base units of measures, and then the weight class is represented by the grams as the base units of measures. We are going to make a relationship now. So here I will now say 1 each is equal to 100 grams is the relationship which I'm going to give now. Fine, go there. Let me give a relationship. Now the relationship is established. So the moment you establish it, what happens, you can very well transact on all the units of measures of quantity class now. Fine, go there. And then here, if you go there, go to the miscellaneous result. And then here, you give a control L, what happens, you can now find everything is coming up now. All the units of measures of quantity class are also possible for us to do it. The moment you give a peer-to-peer conversion or interclass conversion. So all the base units are what happens related, and so what happens is very much possible. And then go there, go to the window, and then go to the units of measures now. And now, here also we can have an exception. Here also we are going to have an exception. Here, go there. So if it is powder 2, which is done in 110, normally what happens, we can only pack 10 each. Now what happens, we are going to pack 15 each now. So we will now go to the item specific exceptions of the quantity class. So go to the intra class of the quantity class, and then control down arrow, and then put your item over here now. Tata percentage, and then here units of measures is what in 10 now. Fine, Tata, and then give a tab, and then it automatically populates the default value of 10 now. Now I'm going to override the 15 now. So I'm going to give an exception that is not 10 for this item. Fine, 15 is the one, and then give a save. And then it's going into caution. Hey, you are now making some modification to correct database. Okay, click on OK, and then accept it, and then transactions complete. And then what happens for the powder? If you pack it in 10, we can very well pack 15, whereas for other items we can only pack 10. Got it now? Fine. So intra-class is item-specific exceptions, and then inter-class is peer-to-peer conversion now. We are relating two classes now, basically. Then what happens? We can very well do the transactions on this now. Fine. It's not done. Now let us go there. Our setups are complete now. Fine. And then go there, and then now perform the transaction. Miscellaneous. So here what happens? We go there, and then I'm going to perform a transaction now. I will now do a transaction for 10 tins. Fine, 10 tins. I'm going to do it now. Fine. Go there. Let me make a change of what? TTI. Fine, give a tab. It will show you TTI is the one. So TTI is Tata tins now. Fine, go there, and then I'm going to transact on 10 tins now. So 10 tins, I'm going to make a transaction. I'm going to receive it. I'm going to make a receipt of this now. So I'm making a miscellaneous for 10 tins, and then control is complete. So once when you commit it, what happens? You'll now see that everything has now gone inside. Now fine, close it now. The transaction is complete. Close it, and then come to the space. When you transact 10 tins, what happens in 10 tins? We can have only 10 each. One tin is 10 each. And so 10 tins is 10 each, but we have an item specific exception of 15 each. And so what happens? The 10 tins will be converted to 150 each. And in the peer-to-peer conversion, we have a 1 each is equal to 100 grams conversion. Fine. And then here we can say you cannot have any exceptions on the peer-to-peer. Peer-to-peer cannot have any exceptions. Only thing is what happens within a class we can have an exception. And then so 150 grams is nothing but 150 into 100 grams. 150 each is equal to 150 into 100 grams. Fine. Afterwards, what happens? The grams has to be converted into what? The stock keeping unit, which is sachets. So 150 into 100 grams is equal to 150 into 10 sachets, and so it's 1,500. And so the previous one we have a 30, and so what happened? The new stock will be 1,530. So the new stock will be 1,530. So go and then have a look at the stock now. Fine. Close it, and then have a look at it now. You go to items, item search, items, and then item search, and then have a look at it. And put a mask of Tata percentage, and then show quantity. Items, item search is an indication. Click on find. Bandichi, we got it as 1530 now. So you can have exceptions on the, we call that as a destination class. The source class is what? Your Tata weight class, and then the destination class is quantity class. So we can have exceptions in both the classes basically. But it may not be possible to have all these exceptions, but theoretically it is very much possible. And then if the client has got such exceptions, what happens? We have to record the exceptions and then do it accordingly. Whenever they have the quantity class, what happens? A box will be there. Your box will be normally containing one monitor, but if you're going to put the keyboards, we can very well put 10 keyboards. So the exceptions has to be very clearly recorded. All exceptions are item-specific exceptions, and then peer-to-peer also is item-specific peer-to-peer conversion. Item-specific transactions, fine. Peer-to-peer conversions between the classes is also item-specific. So both of them are item-specific. Remember, $5. Now let us go and then see what's called dual units of measures. You're now going to have a look at the dual units of measures. So here, what happens? Let us say a sheet metal. Here, I will not take two classes now. Fine. The existing classes, I'm going to go to setups, and then go to units of measures, and then go to classes. And then I will now go on the query for the quantity class. Fine. Quantity class. The quantity class is represented by, I will not go to the weight class. Weight class. The weight class is represented by pounds. Since it is an American system, what happens? Pounds is they do the measurement in pounds. So pounds is not kgs. Fine. Weights is now pounds. And then one more class which I'm going to query is what? Length. LENGTH. Fine. I will now query this length class. Length class is foot now. So a sheet metal which is having what happens? Length in foot and then weight in pounds. I'm going to make a relationship. So what happens when you are going to have a zinc sheet which is costly, and then you make a cutting, zigzag cutting, coin cutting. So 1 meter has to, let us say, weigh 10 pounds now. 1 foot has to weigh 10 pounds. And then when you make a zigzag cutting of the sheet, what happens? It may not be 10 pounds, it may be 9.8 pounds or 10.2 pounds, etc. So some companies would like to record both the length of the zinc sheet as well as the weight of the zinc sheet also. So this is called a dual units of measure. There are so many cases in which what happens, the dual units of measure will come into picture. In a cotton industry, what happens? They will now measure it in what happens? Weight, and then what happens in one sack. One sack, let us say, is going to have, say, let us say 5 kg. Over a period of time, what happens? The cotton will be absorbing moisture. And then they will now measure the moisture, and then if the moisture absorption is more than 1%, what happens? They will not discard it. It is not suitable for weaving at all. So we can even discard it if the weight has gone below or above. Fine. We can even discard the transaction itself. So there are so many such conditions. What happens? The weight and volume. In one of our bakery company, what happens? They buy the item in tins or what happens? Your boxes, and then what happens? It is issued to manufacturing in kilos. For example, the butter. The butter will now come in tins now. So 5 tins. Each tin is now weighing 2 kilos. And then they will now put them in boxes. So they will now buy 1 box of 5 tins now. And then when they issue to manufacturing, they will now issue in kilos. 1 tin they will now issue in kilos. So in so many cases, what happens? The dual units of measure come in picture now. Fine. So let us do the length as well as the weight class. Weight class is having pounds as a base unit. This is having foot unit. Fine. Go there and then we'll now do it now. So go to items, master items. I will not test it now. Fine. I will now say Tata and then underscore dual underscore UOM 1. Fine. So here what happens? I will know there are multiple defaulting is there. Fine. One is a default, one is no default, and then one fixed. Fine. I will now say default control. Default control. I'm going to make it examination. Tata dual units of measures 1. Here go there. I will now put what happens? The length. Fine. So the length is a primary one, and then what happens? I will now say length is in foot now. Fine. Foot. So I'm now putting the base unit itself for the foot is the one which I'm doing it. Tracking is not only primary and secondary. Primary and secondary. And then the secondary units in what? Pounds now. Pounds. So secondary unit is in pounds. Fine. Pounds is the one, and I'm going to read. Fine. The defaulting is what? Default control. The default control is 1. I'm not choosing it now. So here what happens, I will now allow a maximum of 10% deviation, plus or minus 10% deviation on the measurements basically. So I have not done it. So let us go there, go to the tools, and then go to what happens, copy from, and then I will now apply a purchase template now. The purchase template is applied. So the template is now applied. Fine. So it is now measured in foot, and then the secondary units of measures is in pound. Fine. Primary and secondary is the tracking. This is the default tracking. Pen controls commit, and then I'm going to assign this item to the organization now. So this is the UOM test 1 now. Dual units of measures test 1. Fine. Commit. Controls commit. So it's now done. And then here we are going to make a test of it now. Fine. Let us go there and make a test of it. Go to the window and then go to the navigator. And then here, before we make a test, what happens? The primary and secondary we have to relate. Otherwise, what happens? We cannot make a transaction at all. The primary and secondary has to be related. So go to the miscellaneous transaction and then try to transact this now. Fine. We go there. M percentage RE and then give a tab. Choose it and then give a tab. And then put the account Control L, M enter and Alt R. And then here what happens is dual. UOL percentage and then give a tab. The dual in some address is coming now. So dual. What is the item name I have given? Percentage UAL percentage. Right. I'll not put it. So Tata, the Tata dual in some address, I'm opening it now. Fine. Sub inventory stores, and we cannot perform a transaction because between the primary and secondary, the primary foot is now automatically defaulting. If you go and then give 10 foot, fine, go there and then give tab, it will not allow at all. Because the primary to secondary conversion is not yet established. Unless we establish the conversion, what happens, it will not be possible now. So it's saying conversion setups is now giving a problem. So I go there. I will now clear the record F6. F6 is clearing the record. Say what happens, go to the window and then go to the navigator and then let us go to the units of measures. Set up units of measures and then go to classes now. Fine, go there. So query your secondary units of measures. Secondary is in what? Is in weight now. Fine, it's weight. I'm going to query. So this is called the destination units of measures now. It's WE capital weight. Fine. Now here go to the conversions now. So here what happens, you go to the interclass conversion because between weight and length we have to make a relationship. Go to the interclass length, control down arrow, and then again it is what data percentage, then you tap, and then I'm going to put dual units of measures is what is. So here what happens, 1 pound is equal to 0.1 foot. Fine, you're going to put a 0.1 foot, that is 1 pound is equal to 10, 1 pound is 10, 1 foot is 10 pounds. If you put point on, that means what? 1 foot is 10 pounds. Fine, controllers coming. Now we have defined it, and you can see the destination coming up over here now. Left hand side. The left hand side must be the destination units of measures, which is secondary units of measures, and then the right hand side is the source units of measures, which is a what happens length. Fine, what is. So you must remember you have to query the destination and then give the relationship on the interclass now. Fine, controllers commit. It is now done. So now we can very well transact on this and the dual units of measures. Go there, put the units of measures conversion. And not this one, go to the place and then go to the miscellaneous receipt now, go there. And then here, I will now put the item over here now, find Tata and then give a tab. The dual units of measures, I'm going to put it now. So Tata dual units of measures, I'm going to make a transaction. There are 3 Tatas are there now. So it will not show only one is there because maybe, fine. So go there, stores is a sub inventory. And then go there. And then that Tata was capital T. Okay, then the order is not coming. So go there. And then here, the moment I put what happens 10 quantity, 10 foot. What happens? 1 foot is 10 pounds, and then automatically the secondary quantity of pounds will automatically default 10. So then give a tab. It will not default to 100 because 1 foot is 10 pounds. It's not defaulting to 100. So let us now make it. What happens? We are given a 10% this thing. So we'll now make it as 95. We are measuring the weight. What happens? We are getting 95, and then give a back tab. Shift and back tab. Now it will say, do you want to convert this 10 to 95 by 10, or otherwise don't want to convert it? Apply converted quantity to primary quantity. Say no means what? It will not convert. If you say yes, it will now convert and then it will now put the quantity as 9.5. If you give a yes, it will now put it. Right? So I will now again what happens? I will now delete it and then go there, delete it. And then here what happens? I will now put again 15. It now putting it. So what happens? I am now changing it is what? 145 and then give a back tab. This time I say I will now say no, don't convert it. So the measurement I have made on the primary as a length is only 15, but when I weight it is 145, and so make a don't conversion. Click on no, it will accept. So when you perform a transaction, it will now record as what 15 feet of sheet metal has been cut, which is now weighing only 145 pounds and not 150 pounds. So the system will be recording both the primary and secondary units of measures. Fine, what is control is commit. So it is now control is commit. It is now gone inside. Now I will again put what Tata and then go tap the only 1 units of measures. And then go there stores. This time what happens? We are now given what? Yeah, what's called 10. Now you tap, it will be showing. And then here what happens? I will now put 89. And now the measurement is what? Is now exceeding the 10% tolerance. If you give a back tap, what happens? It will be exceeding transfer. If you say no, don't convert the primary, it will not throw an error. This 89 for 10 feet is exceeding the tolerance limit, and so what happens? It is error. The quantity entered is lower than the allowed deviation for the item. Please re-enter. So this transaction is basically rejected. So if it exceeds the tolerance limits, what happens? We cannot even perform the transaction over here at all. That is what it is. So here what happens? I will say it is 91, it will accept it. Glad. Fine, go there in your tab, and then what happens? Do you want to apply? No. Say, do you want to convert the primary? No. Right. Here it is not accepted. And then if you go there and see, so initially 15 pounds at 145 has been transacted, and then 10 pounds at 91 is transacted. Plus commit. Now what happens? We go and see the system. It will not show both. It will not show both the things. Now fine, go there, close it, and then here go to the window, and then go to the navigator, and then have a look at it. Now fine, go to transactions, and then go to material transaction now. In the material transaction, if you go and then query, what happens? It will not show you everything. Now fine, item is what? Data, and then give a tab, percentage, and then give a tab. The item is coming. So click on find now. Between these two dates, fine, click on find. It will be showing everything for you, and then you can see the total thing. Now the two transactions are there. Fine, all the transactions are showing you in this thing. So first one has got what? The transaction quantity is 10 foots, and then the primary quantity is 10. And then if you go further, what happens? It will not show you the secondary quantity also. 10 foot of 91 pounds is recorded, as well as 15 pounds of 145 pounds is recorded. So what happens if you go and see 10 plus 15? It will not show. If you go there, go to the item search now. Fine, go there, go to the item search. Go to the item search. It will be showing you the organization level quantity. Go there, and then it is what? Data. And then give a tab. See, data percentage. Data percentage, dual percentage, and then what happens? Alt Q is what? You put Alt Q and then put a tick mark, and then click on find now. So here what happens? It is not showing you only the primary units of measures now. Fine. The primary units of measures foot is not 25. Let's close that. Let's see how to see the secondary units of measures also. God, it's not showing me somehow. Fine. I have forgotten about how to show it. Now show secondary units of measures is not there. So it's not showing you only primary. But I have seen somewhere, but I can even see secondary. So this completes what the first method of creating it. Fine, go there. Let us create the second one. Right? Control down arrow, and then it is dual. It's dual underscore UOM 2. Fine, Tata dual UOM 2. Tata dual instruments. Here, what happens? I'm now going to say no default. Fine, there's no default. No default. No default, and then let me apply a template now. Fine, purchase template is applied, and then go there. Make it as what? The primary is what? Foot, F-O-O-T, foot, the one tab. And then I'm going to track it on what? Primary and secondary. And then secondary is what? Is your pounds now. UNDS pounds, and then give a tab. And then default is no default. That means what? Do not default anything at all. And then the deviation factor, I'm again giving 10. As well as. So, and then control is commit, and then I will now assign to the organization now. Go there, click on it, assign it. So it's now assigned, and then let us go to the transaction lines. Go there. So let us go there. Transactions, miscellaneous transaction. Miscellaneous transaction, entering from tab M percentage RE, give a tab down arrow, enter fine. Control L, M, enter, alter. Here you go there, Tata, and then control tab, and then it will now give you both items. So I'll go for the next one once again. Data percentage, then give a tab. So second item, I'm going over there. Stores is a sub inventory, and then give a tab. Now what happens if you put 10 foot? The secondary will not default at all. Give a tab, cheapo, you only enter. So you measure and enter. Based upon the conversion, it will not do anything. So you have to actually measure and enter. Some companies say that let them measure it. Let them do not prompt it as 100 pounds at all. Fine. If they put 89 over here, and then here what happens? Units of is not defined. Okay. Or again, what happens for the second item? We are not defined, and so what happens is not coming here. Problem. So let us go there and then define it now. Fine. Go to the navigator. So there again, the UOM has to be set up. Units of measures, and then go to classes now. For this item, we are not defined it. Fine. They go there and then query your what weight class now. Weight class, I'm going to query it, and then go to the conversions, and then here go to the interclass conversions. Control down arrow. Here what happens? Data percentage 2 is the one I'm going to do it. Here what happens? I will now say again 0.1 now. I'm defining it. So only when you define it on the existing interclass conversion, we can very well do the transaction. Close it, and then come to this place now, and then go there, go to the miscellaneous. Here what happens if you give a tab, and then 89, give a back tab. Let's delete both the things now. Now what happens? I give 10 now, and then here I give 89, and then give a back tab. It says the quantity entered is lower than the allowed deviation for the item. Fine, that's why it's now going beyond the 10%. So it's not accepting it at all. So if you go there and then put 91 over here now, fine, go back. And then here, what happens is accepted it. Fine. It is not even asking you to convert the original one. Fine, you go there. I will now put 15 over here. And then I will now put 145 over here, give a back tab. It's accepting it. Here, what happens in the no default, what happens? It will now accept whatever values you are entering in. And so what happens? There is no question of converting the primary and secondary. Secondary is not getting converted to primary basically. 14.5 is not converting it. So no default means whatever you enter, it will not take it up. And if it is beyond the deviation, let us say it was 161, then it will not go ahead. So if you go there, and then it's 161. 161 is also within the 171, and then give a tap, it will not throw an error. So 10% is now beyond this. So what happens here? It does not even adjust the primary quantity. Click on it. So higher than allowed deviation, so it's not accepting it. So this completes the second one. So let us go there and then test the final one on this now. Fine, clear it. F6, I'm clearing it. Fine, close it now. Close it, and then we'll now create the final item now. Fine, go to items, and then go to master items, and then let us create the data underscore dual underscore UOM 3 is a 1. Fine. Here what happens? None, no default at all. No default, fixed default. So it's a fixed one. I'm going to check it up. Fine. If I exceed it, so fixed one, I'm going to check it up. Fine. Go there and then apply template. The purchase template is applied, and then go there. Here it's what? It's foot now. Foot, and then tracking is what? Primary and secondary. Give it. And then secondary is pounds, and then go there. Defaulting is what? Fixed. So I'm putting it as fixed. Control is commit, and then Alt T, and then O, and then assign it to the organization. Commit and close it now, and then collapse all, and then go to setup unit submissions, go to classes, and then enter it, and then query the quantity class now. Weight class now. Weight class, I'm going to query it now. So after having done it, go to the conversions, and then go to class. Control down arrow, and then I'll put data. And then go to the third item. I'm going to put it now. So put the third item. The only one is not commit. Point one, and then commit. Fine. Now if you go there, you cannot give any deviations at all. I forgot to tell you, the third item, the deviation can be only 0. I will not show you this now. Fine, go to this. I will not query the data item. Data percentage 3. I'm going to query it now. I query it. The deviations cannot be given at all. There is no deviation if it is a defaulting is fixed. I forgot to tell you, this is not possible at all. So this is not possible. So no deviations possible, only fixed one. Fine. This is what is. We go there, and then now we go to the transactions, and then go to miscellaneous transaction, enter in M percentage RE, give a tap. Enter in Control L, M, enter Alt R, go to the lines. Here, Tata percentage 3%, and then go there. And then this is a stores one. Stores, and then go there. And then here, if I give something, let us say foot is 15 foots, and then give a tap, 150 is coming. If I try to make a change of what 160, and then give a back tap, it becomes 60. And then if you make a 17, this becomes 170. So here, it will only default. It will never allow you to make a change. No deviations are possible between the primary and secondary. So there was a case in GE in which what happens, the sales orders are booked in kilograms, because there is a British colony, and so it's a Kazakhstan. In Kazakhstan, what happens, they book everything in kilos, whereas manufacturing takes place in pounds in US. So there is a fixed relationship of what, 2.22 something, 212 or something like that. The relationship is there between kilograms and pounds, and then there cannot be any deviation at all. So these guys in Kazakhstan will be booking an order in kilograms, whereas since the dual unit sub measure is now made, what happens? They make an ISO using the dual unit sub measures, and then I only configured the entire system basically for a G actually. And then through an ISO, what happens? The primary and secondary unit sub measures are basically done. So the shipping unit sub measures is basically the primary unit sub measures, whereas the booking unit sub measure is a primary unit sub measure. The order booking is done on primary, and then what happens? Shipping will take place in the secondary. Right? Likewise, what happens? We have to do something, and then ISO is fully set up on this. So there cannot be any deviation between the pounds and length and weight as such, because they are standard ones on this one. So this completes all the complications of dual unit sub measures. Now, fine. I hope that you might have enjoyed this session. Go there. So if you have any queries on this now, what happens? You can write to me at apps.nana@gmail.com. I'm now conducting training on the entire e-business suite of supply chain management modules of inventory, purchasing, order management, procurement, sourcing, and ASAP. And then if you have any requirement, and I also conduct training on Fusion apps, Fusion procurement actually. Fusion procurement, I'm conducting it. So if you have any requirement, you can contact me at apps.nana@gmail.com, or otherwise you can even write to me, or otherwise you can speak to me at 98418-67924. Thank you for your help and then participation. I hope that you have understood this unit sub measures very clearly. Fine. Thank you. Bye, all of you.